second video on the continent of Africa. Welcome, family. Welcome, friends. I hope you guys are well. We are going to be making some videos. It's a bright afternoon here on the continent of Africa, and it's not too hot today. It's not cool and it's not hot. It's just the right temperature today. So we are very, very happy. I know it's morning in the United States and morning in Canada, but it's afternoon here. So I'm just sitting outside on my porch and I'm just enjoying the cool breeze. There's a nice breeze today. I was sitting here waiting for my daughter to come from school. I sit here so I can see the bus through the wall because we live in like all this gate. But anyways, guys, my name is Hazel, and for those of you who are new to the channel, 23 of you who are new to the channel, welcome. And we are a family who moved from Canada to Tanzania, Africa, and we are living our best life here, and we are getting to know the environment, the people. We're just making our way around the country and getting to know things. So in this video, we're going to talk about rent and we're going to talk about cost of living because you guys are so curious. You're asking me so many questions about different things. So I want to come on here and answer your questions. Let me show you guys around a bit. So this is my home, my beautiful home. As you can see, this is the front door. This is the compound. I just picked some guavas. You see that? I just picked some guavas from the tree. I have a lot of guavas on the tree. Let me take you guys to the guava tree. Let's go see the guavas. Let's go see the guavas. We have lots of guavas on the tree. Look at that. Oops. See? We have lots of guavas. Guavas are coming out. We have some ripe ones here. Look at that. We have some ripe ones here. We have some green ones here. I don't know, my camera is a little bit off today. So, yes, I'm under this guava tree, and this guava tree has many guavas on it. I hope you guys can see. And there's even some all the way up there. But we have guavas in galore. And let me take you guys behind the house to show you all the mangoes. I'm so proud of my mangoes. I can't talk about them enough. Look at that. Look at my mangoes. Look at my mangoes. Oh my goodness. Every part is like laden with mangoes. Look at that. Look at the mangoes, guys. Look at the mangoes. There's so much mangoes. It's like mangoes are just everywhere. I'm so proud of my mangoes. So this is my little house here. And here I am drying some things. I am drying things. The garden is over there. I don't want to show you guys the garden because I'm going to do a video on the garden. So yeah, that's what it is. Let me show you my other mango tree that has so much mangoes on it. And look at this mango tree. It has so much mangoes on it. Look at that. Mangoes galore. You see that? Very soon we'll be harvesting lots of mangoes on the tree. It's just laden with mango. Hi Faith, how are you? Welcome to the chat. Thanks for joining. Look, mangoes. More mangoes here. Look at that, mangoes. More mangoes. I'm so excited. So we have two kinds of mangoes. I don't know what exactly is the name. I can't tell you, but I am just excited. And then we have oranges. As you can see here, the oranges are on the tree. We have many oranges here. So yeah. Now this mango behind me, it seems like if it's a grafted mango because up here, there's a different kind of mango on top. It is a different kind of mango. and those mangoes on this side is a different one. So I think the tree is grafted. So we'll have two different kinds of mangoes coming out on the tree. And then over here is my rose garden. As you can see, the roses are blooming. So yeah, this is my beautiful house. Yes, I wanted to show you guys around because I thought that was something you guys would enjoy. So let's put the camera down here and settle ourselves and chat. Okay. So yeah, so this is our little place, and you guys saw it. I know when I did live video before, sometimes you guys ask, can you show us around? Can you show us around? So when I did videos in Canada, I show you guys the garden. So yeah, how are you, Faith? Where are you watching from? Tell me where you are watching from. I would love to know. And please give the video a thumbs up, guys. 6 of you are watching, so give the video a thumbs up. I should see 6 thumbs up. Oh, you're watching from Algeria. Thank you. So today we are talking about rent. So I know that many people are curious about renting here in Tanzania and how much it costs and everything like that. So let me break it down for you guys about the rent. So in Tanzania, thank you. So in Tanzania, rent varies. Now there's 3 prices when it comes to rent. So there's a low end where you can pay like 100 to 150 T shillings, which is about 50 to 60 Canadian dollars. And you can get a 1-bedroom with a tiny kitchen and bathroom to rent for that price. If you guys are hearing a lot of noises in the back, it's there's a building right next here that they're building, and it's so noisy, but everywhere I go on this compound, you're hearing the noise. So sorry about the noise. But yeah, so you can get that. Then you can go up to the medium level, which is like 200 to 300,000 a month. And this is like 150 to 155 Canadian. It's gonna be less in US dollars. So it's gonna be like maybe 130 US, right? So it's gonna be cheaper. And then you can go to the high end as much as like, 400,000 to a million, where it's going to be like 750 Canadian or 700 US, something like that, okay? So it's up to you to choose how you want to live and what style you like, what fashion you like. But what I want to tell you all is, now when you're renting a place, it's gonna be so, like here it's so different from the West. So like in the West you have like nice cupboards, and you have cupboards at the bottom, cupboards at the top. The kitchen setup here is very, very different. So you might be a little bit disappointed when you see this kitchen setup, unless you rent like a very modern place, which is inside like in tourist area. Because in the tourist area, they tend to cater for tourist people, because they know what Westerners like, and so the place is made for that. Most of the Airbnbs are well westernized with all the things that we expect. But just a regular, if you go and rent in a regular Tanzanian village or just in a regular Tanzanian town, it's different. Like kitchens are very, very tiny. They don't have they have cupboards at the bottom, but they don't have shelves inside. So it's very hard to put things inside the shelf. It's kind of on the floor. So it's kind of different. There's just not a lot of like space to put things. So some of the kitchens are so small, there's hardly any space to put like a microwave or anything on the counter. It's just very, very, very tiny. And it's just different. So I'm just telling you all, it's just very different. So if you want to get like high-end things, or you want to have your things look like Western things, you either have to build your own houses, or you have to rent in more tourist area, or you have to go in cities like Dar es Salaam, where they're more like westernized. Not everywhere is westernized, but in certain places it's more westernized, so you're going to get exactly what you're looking for. Now when you're renting, it is not good to go as a foreigner to rent like on your own. Like say you move here and you're going to residing here now for 3 months or 4 months or 6 months or whatever, or you're going to be living here forever. So it's good to have like a Tanzanian person with you negotiating for you. And once you open your mouth and speak English, they put the price up. So for example, if Say you see a nice 2 bedroom apartment and the listing price was like 300,000. The minute time you speak to the owner and the owner hear that you're a foreigner, they're going to be like, oh, it's 450, it's 500,000. So you need to have a Tanzanian person to negotiate for you, and that is the only way you're going to get a fair price. If you go on your own, there's 100% they will change the price, or they would say, oh, it was a mistake or something like that. We have that happen to us many times when we were looking for places to rent. But the thing is, we had Tanzanian people with us, and even the Tanzanian people was a little bit upset. They were like, why are you saying that? So it's a good thing they were with us to negotiate for us and bargain and stuff like that. And a next thing, renting here in Tanzania, it's not month to month. So if you come to continent of Africa, all over Africa, there's no month to month. You pay either 3 months up front or 6 months or 12 months. Most places it's 12 months. But in certain areas that is more to have more tourist attraction, they will do 3 months or 6 months. But usually it's 1 year, and sometimes it's even up to 2 years. They want you to pay 2 years up front. So you gotta have that money to pay that money up front, or they will not rent for you. So that's what they do it here. The next thing is, before you rent a place here, make sure you do not pay any money, because if you pay any money up front, all the things that need to be fixed in the house would not be fixed. I am telling you right now. We had that issue. We were green like cricket, so we didn't know better. We were just saying, okay, let's pay our money. And then those things were promised to be done, and it was never done. We had to spend our own money to do it, and we haven't even gotten back that money as yet. So beware of that. When you're going to rent, make sure all the things are done before you pay one penny. Okay? The next thing about renting is it, it takes a while to find what you're looking for. So if you're planning to rent somewhere, make sure you have a space of 2, 3 weeks to look around, even a month to take your time to rent. And the the expectation is quite low here when it comes to tidiness, cleanliness, the things that you're going to be expecting in the West. It's not it's not the same here. So you might be disappointed a lot going to look at different places and the standards and the cleanliness and stuff like that. So just be prepared and not be too shocked about it. If you decide to rent the place, then you'll have to clean it up and make it the way you want, but just the way it is here. Unless you, like I said, you're in a tourist area, high-end area, which caters only for tourists, the standards are going to be higher. But in the local area, like the local village, just the local city places, is just black. Okay, so I'm being honest with you guys, and I'm telling you the truth of how it is and what it is. Okay, now when you rent here, some of the places when you rent, everything is included, some of them are not. So you're expected to pay for your water and your electricity. Okay, so these are two things you expect to pay for. The water here has a meter, and then a government agent will come and read the meter once every month, and then you would pay the water through the landlord, right? And when it comes to electricity, there is a little box, and you are supposed to put money by yourself on the box. You you supposed when you come here, you're gonna want to open an account, like M-Pesa. You're gonna use M-Pesa and open an M-Pesa account, and you're gonna transfer money from your bank account into the M-Pesa account, and then you can be able to do transfer, like pay your water bill, pay your light bill, do different things, go to the store, buy shopping. You can use the M-Pesa to pay for that. So you're going to use your M-Pesa to pay for electricity. Let me tell you guys about the electricity. Now, they do not give you any warning about the electricity. If, say, example, you didn't put enough on it and it's going to cut off because it's going low. You just in your house and oops, there's no electricity. And then when you check, you're like, I forget I didn't pay the bill. It's not like in Canada where every month you pay your bill, and if you are late, you don't have to worry about that. They're not gonna cut it off. Here, as soon as the money runs out, your electricity goes off. But it's no big deal because you can just go on the app, put how much money you want to put in, and then it's gonna come back in 5-10 seconds once you see the payment. So that's how it works here. But you might be out and you forget to pay. When you come back, there's no electricity. And if you have a fridge, if you have meat, and if you have stuff, your things may spoil if you out all day or you're at work and you didn't pay electricity. So that's just the thing about it. The next thing about renting is now many people have issues with that. Landlords are not very forthcoming when it comes to coming and fixing things and doing things for you. So you're gonna have to be like a hands-on person depending on the person that you rent from. But as far as I understand here in Tanzania, landlords are not very forthcoming. Once you pay them, you don't see them again until it's time to pay. And it's sad because that's just very bad service, very bad service. So yeah, not good service at all. I mean, your clients are paying you money for that place and you're not coming if they call you or something like that. It's just it's just not good. Yeah, that's one of the problems. Even us, we have problems. The same problem with our landlord. She doesn't respond. She doesn't come if there's a problem. We always have to fix things. And fixing household items here is very expensive. Yeah, it's just very expensive. And this is not your home, so I don't know why we are fixing things that doesn't belongs to us, right? Anyway, so these are some issues when it comes to rent. When it's come to rental, I want to tell you guys, make sure you get a rental lease. Now here, sometimes landlords, they don't want to give you rental lease. Make sure you get one. We had to ask for one, and when she sent it to us, our names was not on it or anything like that. It was just like saying blah blah blah, add your name in this stuff that she did. She was just like, I don't know, very nonchalant about it. It was just very weird because we're not used to those things. Like in Canada, your landlord give you a lease and your name is on it, the expectation, the this, whatever. Once she got the money, she didn't care about any documentation or any whatever. So, but as a foreigner, you need to have everything in writing. You need to have things in pen and paper to protect yourself because if something happened, you you don't have any proof. And foreigners get themselves in many problems here because of lack of proof. Recently, somebody was telling me that this foreigner bought something with another Tanzanian citizen, and then they didn't have, like, the citizen kept the proof and they didn't give the foreigner or the expat. And after a while, the citizen come and tell the expat, oh, you gotta leave because this place belongs to me. And the expat couldn't say anything because she had no proof. Like, she didn't have no proof that she bought it together with the person and the person just went with her to buy it. So it's just a mess. So you got to be careful when you come here. I mean, not all Tanzanians are like that, but there's a lot of scammers here. So you got to make sure that you know who you're dealing with and make sure you're approved. Everything, even anything that you buy here, a stove, a fridge, a this or whatever, you just have proof saying that you buy it here, and if something happens, you can go back to that store and complain or whatever. So just have your proof here. So for the rent, it's the same thing. Now, when you're going to be renting, I want to tell you about the rental process. So the rental process is you need to find a real estate agent to help you to rent. But let me tell you something. If you think it's cheap, think again. So the real estate agents are called dilalis, and those dilalis, when they come to help you find a place, they bring another dilali with them, another person with them, and they expect you to pay for the other person that they bring with them. If another agent come with them, they want you to pay that agent. If they come with a bike, they want you to pay for the person's ride, and you didn't even hire those other people. You just hire him, and he's bringing all these other people who have other properties, and he expects you to pay. So beware of those things if you want to move to Tanzania or even places like Gambia, because my friend told me she had that problem too. So beware of that. You hire one Delali to look for the place for you. When he comes, you could bring 10 people and he's telling you to pay. Say, listen, I didn't hire them. It is up to you to deal with the people that bring with you, and you guys talk among yourself which property we're going to look at. But I'm not going to pay you, then pay the person. It just doesn't work out. And you have to be firm about that. Now, the Delali, when he finds your place and you decide to rent the place. So for example, say the place is 300,000, you have to give the Delali 300,000. So that is 1 month rent. The Idlali will get 1 month rent, which is a lot, I think. Not even half a month, but it's like a whole month rent you have to pay him. So if you rent a place for 1 million, you have to give him a 1 million, 1 month rent. so so it's a lot. So when you're going to rent places, something that you may find is it's like some of the places are quite small and they don't have a lot of plugs. Like, in Canada, in US, there's a plug over there, there's a plug there, you can plug your lamp there, you can do this, that. Like that is something that is lacking here. And like lamps and stuff, like non-existent, non-existent. Okay, so you gotta buy your own lamp, and the lamps are very expensive. And some of the rooms don't have lights, and those rooms that have lights, some of them are colored lights, so they have like 3 sets of lights. Mostly all the places that we saw, they have 3 sets of lights, which is so annoying. There's like a regular light, there's a flicking light, the blinks, and then there's a colored disco light. I don't know if it's that's a style here that they have, I have no idea, but mostly all those places they have this silly ridiculous light, which I think it hurts my eyes and I hate it. So they have these lights. And then the next thing is there is no like closet. So you're renting a place and there is absolutely no closet. So if you rent a place, you gotta buy your own closet and bring it in there. I don't know why they don't make places with closet, but I find it so annoying and so frustrating to rent a place with no closet. Where are you supposed to put your clothes? So you have to get somebody to build you like a rack, or you have to buy a whole closet set to bring inside the bedroom. So that's another thing I want you guys to be aware of. The next thing is the kitchen. Kitchens are very tiny and there's hardly space to to cook or to put things on. A lot of the kitchens are tiled and a lot of the tiles are not done properly. And so, I don't know, the grooves are not done properly. So I don't want to say anything bad, but I don't know. I don't find it very sanitary. The way they make the grooves, like how they put the tiles, is not done properly. Thank God this house that we are in, it's a huge tile, so like a slab, so it's not a problem for us. But all of the other houses that we saw, they had the tiling, and like in between the tiles, it's like a big space. So like mold and dirt and stuff going in between it, and it wasn't done properly. So most of those places we did not rent them at all because it was that's not going to be sanitary at all to put your food on top and stuff like that. Yeah, guys, please like the video, give the video a thumbs up the video. Don't forget to thumbs up the video. Also, when it comes to rentals, you have to do a lot of negotiating. Like some of the places are just dumps. I'm telling you guys, I'm being very, very honest. They have high expectation for their rentals, and the rental is not even a third of the money they're asking for. So you have to be very firm and negotiate and walk away, and not be like, okay, I will see what I can do. Just walk away if things does not suit you, because I'm telling you, once you hand them that money, don't look to say that they're gonna come and fix anything unless the things are fixed before you come in. And we had problems with that. So even if we had our friends negotiating for us, they said that they're gonna fix things, they still didn't fix things. It's like we moved here, this is our 3rd month, and just 2 days ago they came with a clothesline. So all that time we had to buy our own clothesline. We tied the clothesline onto the mango tree and onto the pole behind. We had another clothesline, it fell down with our clothes. It was so much trouble with the clothesline. And eventually after 3 months, she sent the iron. She just sent 2 men to put the iron clothesline, which is so ridiculous. When you're looking for places to rent, most of the places here, they don't have a washing machine. You have to hire somebody to wash your clothes. And there is no, in this house, the landlord is supposed to come and put a plug so we can put a washing machine. She have not come and put a plug. So we are washing by hand, and we have a worker coming to wash our clothes for us, because the first couple of weeks I washed my hands were hurting, my hands were blistered because I'm not used to washing so much things by hand. It was so, it hurt my hands so much. But eventually I get used to it because, like here it gets hard. So now I can wash a lot of clothes and it's no problem. But we still have a helper coming to help us wash our clothing. But that's another problem too. Like washing machines and stuff, it's like an issue. The next thing you're gonna see here when you move on the continent of Africa and in Tanzania here, hot water system. Very, very rare to find a hot water system. The water is freezing cold to take shower. I took shower a couple of times and I even got a cold just by taking a shower because the water is so cold. And to see here it's warm, the water should be at least warm. So I don't take a cold shower anymore. I just heat my water and I bought these buckets and then I pour the water inside the bucket and then I take shower like that. And during the day I put my water outside to heat up in the sun, and then by afternoon time it's nice and hot, so I can just put it inside the bathroom and I can take a nice beautiful warm shower. Now when we just came and we were living in Dar es Salaam and in other places, these were all tourist areas, so they had a hot water system, so you had a hot bath, which is natural. But once you move into the village setting area, all the houses that we look at, they didn't have any hot water systems. Anyways, we ended up taking this house because it was the best, it was the cleanest, it was the biggest, so we ended up taking that one. But in the future, when our lease is finished from this house, we are going to be searching for a long time to find a house that we really, really like. So that's that. Now, when it comes to cost of living here in Tanzania, let's talk about that. So, cost of living is very inexpensive. So, you can spend like 800 to 900, say 800 to 1,000 a month here, which is going to be 2 billion shillings. It's a lot. It is a lot here. But if you're like us and you want to buy all these things that you used to in Canada, you want to buy like oats and cereal and imported stuff, it's gonna cost you a little bit more. But if you stick to the regular Tanzanian budget, you could live on 1,000. You could live on 1,000, just 1,000 Canadian dollars or 1,000 US. It's a lot. It's a lot to live on. If you're going out and buy drinks, if you're traveling, if you're going to restaurants and eating a lot, yeah, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to have for a month. So, for example, for expat, if you want to live in a nice place like us here, you'll be looking to pay like 300 to 600,000 shillings, Tanzanian shilling, which is about 300. 600 is like 300 Canadian dollars. 600 is like 300 Canadian dollars, and 200,000 it's and 300,000 is like 150 Canadian dollars. That's a month, right? So when you convert the money, it's a lot of money. So you don't really need a lot of money to live here. But if you want to keep up to your lifestyle, like I said, you're gonna need a good 1,000 Canadian dollars. I'd say not 800. Say 800. 800 Canadian dollars to live here, very, very comfortable for the entire month. And you can go shopping, you can go to the market, you can pay your rent, you can take taxis, you can go do sightseeing for 800 Canadian dollars. You can pay your rent, everything will be covered with 800 Canadian dollars. Very, very cheaply. Very cheap here. I mean, I have no complaints about the cost of living here at all. If I complain, I'll be a big liar. When it comes to food, food is not cheap. When it comes to eating out, like our family, we usually like spend like 10 Canadian for entire dinner for all of us to eat. And sometimes we go out and we just buy chipati, and we can spend like 3 or 4 Canadian dollars for a whole bunch of chipati, meat and drink, salad. Very, very cheap. So when it comes to food, it's very cheap. And when it comes to furniture and things that are imported, it's more expensive. So you'll have to spend a little bit more. But I mean, for the regular Tanzanian who live in here, it's really expensive. But when you do the conversion with the money, it's not that expensive. That's my opinion. For example, if you want to buy a bed, the bed will cost between 300,000, 200 to 300,000, right? It depends on the bed you want. So if you want a higher quality your bed, you might pay 400,000, which is 200 Canadian, or you might even pay like 150 Canadian, even 100 Canadian for a nice bed. So it's not that bad. You can get those quality made beds in Canada. These beds are hardwood, they have designs on them. It's good craftsmanship. It's worth the money. So yeah, if you're gonna buy a mattress is like 200 to 400, depends on the quality again, the Sealy brand, or those Canadian brands or the American brands that they have. So if you buy any of those brands, you're gonna pay a little bit more, maybe 500,000, which is 250 Canadian or 200 US. You'll pay prices like this, but if you just stick to the regular, you're gonna pay like 100 Canadian, 75 US. It depends on what you budget for and what you can afford. So you can live a really, really, how should I say? You can live a very, very reasonable, a very simple, a very cheap life here without like worrying. Oh, you really don't have to fuss. Like, for example, if you are a single person and you just want to leave the West and you want to come to Africa, you could rent a small apartment here for like 150,000 shillings, which is about uh 65, like 65 Canadian dollars, or like, let me see, 50 something US, and a month. And you can pay 6 months of that, right? Which is not going to be a lot, right? So this is gonna be like uh two, let's say 300. You're gonna be paying like 300 US, 300 US, about 350. Say you're gonna pay like 350 US for 6 months. That's like nothing, right? So 6 months you pay that rent. That's done. And then all you have to think about is your electricity. Electricity is not even expensive. It's like maybe around $30, 30 US a month, or even less. It depends on how you use electricity. I find electricity here very cheap. So that's basically it. You don't have to pay heat, you don't have to pay hydro, you don't have to pay sewage. Now, water, the water is cheap too. But most places they have wells and they have rainwater catchment. It depends on where you are. So, like here in Dodoma, it's dry season. So during the dry season, it's gonna be hard to get water. But if you in other parts of Tanzania, it rains a lot, so you don't have to worry about water at all. So some people they have wells, so you just get water from the well, or you can buy water. It's a little bit pricey to buy the water. Like 13 liters is like four 4,000 shillings, which is about two Canadian dollars. Um, so for a local person, it may be a little bit expensive if they don't have like a good job. So most people they just boil water and they drink it. But like in the area that we are in, the water is salted. So boiling the water really makes it doesn't taste good. So you gotta buy the bottled water. So we just use bottled water. We just bathe with the regular water and use bottled water to drink and to cook. Because when you boil the water, you see all the salt setting at the bottom and there's some other thing floating. I don't know what it is, so I'm not gonna use it to cook. But anyways, when it comes to water, if you live in my area here, you have to get water from the city. And like I said, you can't drink it. But if you live in other areas of Tanzania, there's lots of beautiful rivers and waterfalls and whatever, so you don't have problem with water. But in my area, we have big tanks, and some people they have underground tanks that they collect rainwater in and exact water reserve. So these are some of the things that you're gonna have to look for when you're looking to rent a place. You need to ask the landlord if they have water reserve, depending on the area that you are in, right? So some areas you don't need the water reserve, but in those dry arid areas you need the water reserve because then you won't have any water. And if you have a well, you also have to ask how deep the well is, how shallow the well is, to know if you're gonna have enough water to last you for the entire dry season, or if you have to bring a tank in, something like that. Because sometimes you rent a place and they don't have any water reserve, and then it's a problem for you to get water. So these are all things you have to ask about and find out when you come here, when you want to live in a certain certain area. Also, the areas that you choose to live in is very important. You need to ask about the area, know about the area. What time is the dry season? When is the wet season? How long is the dry season? How long is the rainy season? These are things that you need to find. Where we are here, the dry season is long. We've been here for almost 4 months and we haven't seen a drop of rain in our area. Not a drop of rain has fallen here. So it's a long dry season and it's not gonna rain until the next month, I think. In the next month, I think it's gonna rain, but we'll see. That's what I've been told. I don't know. So it's a long dry season. So when you're renting a place, these are some things that you need to pay attention to. Now, also when you're renting, if you're not in an area like I said where it's very modern, the toilets are going to be different. So they have this stooping toilet instead of the sitting toilet. So most of the places have a stooping toilet. So if you're not used to that or you don't know how to use it, that may be a problem for you. I know for us it was a problem in the beginning when we just moved here, but like I said, we stayed in places that was tourist attraction areas and we stayed in Airbnb, and so we didn't have many problems with that. But once we moved to the village areas, then we start having this kind of toilets. And so when we decide to rent a place of our own, we decide to not make sure that those toilets were not like that. So this house is just a regular toilet. The only thing it has attached to it is a bidet, the thing that you spray with, but you can sit on the toilet. So, anyways, things like that. When you're gonna rent a place, these are the things that you want to be looking for, and the things I want to pay attention to. And like I said, if you're going to be moving to Tanzania, you need to make sure that you really plan ahead. Any African country, you need to plan ahead monthly of what you think you are going to spend, and try to have like a cushion. So if you think things are going to cost like $700 a month, have like 900, so you have that buffer in case something happens. That's basically it. You just need to budget a lot and make sure that you don't go crazy, because things may seem cheap when you go outside there and you start to say, oh, this is only 1,000 shillings, oh, this is only 50 cents. Before you know it, you spend your money. Actually, I was just listening to a video with this guy who said he came to Kenya and he had 5,000 US dollars. And he said, oh, that's a lot of money. That should last me at least 6 months. And he said, in 30 days, the 5,000 US were gone, because he was just like buying it. He says, oh, that's cheap. Da, da, da. And before you know it, he spent his 5,000 very quickly. 30 days, he spent 5,000. It's like, this is crazy. 30 days, he spent 5,000. He just enjoyed himself too much, you see? And he wasn't careful. And then he said he had to dip into savings that he had in reserve, and that taught him a lesson that when you move to the continent of Africa, you need to stick to your budget. You need to stick to the lifestyle that you say you're going to live. Because if you don't have that extra income coming in from the West, or you don't have businesses in place where you can get that cash from, you got to be careful. All right. So I hope I gave you guys some good tips about rentals. And if you have any more questions, or if I missed anything, let me know on the next live. I will definitely talk about it. If you want to see some specific videos, let me know. Leave your comment in the bottom. Thank you everybody for joining the live. All those that come to the live, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys so much. And let me know what kind of content you want to see more of. I hope the noise wasn't too much. I was knocking in the background. Every day they're knocking, Since I came here, I wanted to do so many live, but the knocking is so like annoying. But I said, you know what? I was speaking to my son last night, and he says, Ma, you're a YouTuber. Do not let noise, do not let people, just go there and vlog. Just make your video and vlog. This is your job. This is what you do. Just do it. Do your stuff. All right, guys. So take care. Shalom. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Stay positive.